Welcome back, Disruptors. We are in a fiery two-part episode with the one and only Judy Wilkins-Smith. Such a powerhouse. We've been having amazing conversation. She has been helping us transform literally not just our mindsets, I would say our souls, and put a reset button on things. Just a taste of her. This is just a taste, no matter how much you get of what she has to offer the world and what she's been doing. So Judy, we're going to jump right in.
Let's do it.
This is always my biggest conversation when I get up and speak about blocks. What are some of the common patterns you see that hold people back in their personal and professional lives?
I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have 600 degrees. They told me that I was the third in the family, you name it. People make up the most marvelous stuff to believe about themselves so that they can stay small. I'll tell you one for me. So I had an aunt, you'll love this. I had an aunt who has since passed, and a cousin, beautiful, drop dead gorgeous, stereotypical blonde, beautiful.
Yeah.
And then there was me, uber nerd. And I was terrified of men or guys at that stage. I mean, we're talking when 15, 16.
Yeah.
And of course, my cousin would drop in. The guys would all do this and hum around her because she was gorgeous. Yeah. And I'd sit there going, oh, please, can we just be through with this? And my aunt sees this and she comes over to where the whole group is. And she says, some people have the brains and some people have the beauty. Sweetheart, aren't you lucky you got the brains? And I was like,
so she give you a compliment, but told you aren't pretty all at the same, you aren't beautiful at the same time.
Yes. So I realized, I was just not this beautiful blonde. So years later, though, I'm speaking to my cousin. She says, aren't you lucky? You walked away with I'm not gorgeous. I walked away with you're a dumb blonde.
Right, exactly. Same experience, two different outcomes, but it affected both of you negatively ever than positively.
Exactly. And all she was trying to say was, you know what, you've got a good brain, enjoy it. That was not what I took away. Right. And I learned that, and your listeners will know this, how often, because we're wired not to, how often do we not listen to the compliments, but we absolutely pay attention to the negative stuff?
I can tell you one.
Yes.
Every single time. Only I had a friend that said that called me every time for business advice, whatever, to like, you should be discussing this adventure with your spouse. I was married at the time and I'm literally having this conversation and my spouse is sitting right there. And he says, oh, if I could only take your brain and put it inside my wife's body. You know what I heard? Are you calling me fat? And I said, that's it. I'm off. You're crazy. I'm gone. Whatever. I never got on the phone with him again because all I heard, because his wife is this beautiful, thin, lean, athletic creature. And I'm struggling with obesity at the time. And so that's all I heard because I was struggling with my weight. I was trying to figure it out. What's causing it?
Everything came that lens.
He was just telling me you're really business savvy and smart. My wife's not. And I wish she could be a little bit business savvy as well.
You did not go there. You went down. And this is what I call toilet talk.
Love it.
Yeah. We toilet talk ourselves to death.
Yeah.
Instead of transformation talk. The one thing that people have got to learn is you've got to be your own best cheerleader. You've got to be your own best cheerleader. You're it. This is your life. You get to have your life. What do you want to do with this life? You need to nurture it and love it and quit trashing it. Stop trashing it.
Stop trashing it. So basically what you're telling us is to think before we think. When something hits us.
Think while we're thinking.
Think while we're thinking. Yes.
Seriously, people, are you telling yourself that story again? Do you want to go there? I actually had that with my mom. She was diagnosed with cancer, and I can remember thinking, I'm going to die too. It's too much. And I can remember stopping in the moment, because that's a pronouncement.
Yes.
Stopping in the moment and going, stop. What do you want to think and how do you want to feel? Because that's about to become your new truth. Be very, very careful.
What do you want to think and how do you want to feel? Be
Absolutely.
very, very careful. You guys saw me. I am literally putting this in my psyche at this moment and letting that stay with me. And I hope someone catches it because that is everything. And everyone in the podcast know my theme and my theory of think, speak, do, become. And I know you have, yours is, you have 3 steps.
Thoughts, feelings, actions.
Thoughts,
What are your
feelings,
thoughts?
actions.
What are your feelings? What are your actions? And to turn that in. So now we're going to pop into neuroscience.
Yes.
All that stuff that we keep telling ourselves, like, I'm not talking to you again because you just told me I'm fat. You created a lovely neural pathway with that.
Ooh.
Now you've got to go in and go, let's go back to that. All he was really saying was, you've got a really good business brain. I'll take that. Good business brain, feeling good about that. Gut says, yes, we've got a good business brain.
We've got a good business.
And you just rewired. You're rewired. So we have a library full of junk.
Ooh, we got to burn some stuff.
Go in there and start cleaning that out and putting treasures in the library. In fact, when you're at Disney, at Beach Club, remind me to take you to that little place. It's not a library, it's like the atrium. But remind me to take you there and I'll show you what a real library or should look like.
Ooh, and guys, we're talking about what we're going to share more about what's coming up in November, and I get to be in attendance and bring some of my friends if they want to go. But so let's talk. Can you explain the concept of epigenetic and ancestral blocks?
Yes.
And how does that influence our success and relationships? We're going to go there. We're going to go there.
Good. Epigenetics. So you inherit emotional DNA 2 ways. One is through everything that you hear from like you went and you asked all the family members,
yes,
and you heard all the sayings and all the feelings and all the beings and all of that. That's one way. Yes. The other way is one of your ancestors has an experience and it's significant. And it could be something like yours that says you're fat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That goes, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat. Your brain goes, oh my goodness. Your heart goes, oh my goodness, and gets hurt. And your gut goes, oh. When you have that, just created an epigenetic imprint.
Oh, an imprint. That's
which means you're now going to affect the way that your genes are expressed. Okay, so I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat. And now I have an eating disorder. I definitely have an eating disorder. I can't eat because I'm too fat. If I eat, I'm going to throw up. This is no good. This is who I am. Well, what happens? You have a son or a daughter, and they watch and they watch and they see mom going, see you in a minute, and off you go to the toilet, and boom, up comes everything you've just eaten. I can't eat. I cannot keep what I've eaten. I cannot retain what is mine. And they start interpreting, oh, in order to be thin and gorgeous, mom's saying you cannot be even a little bit overweight because that's bad, 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 bad stuff. So now I think I'll be anorexic because I should not take food into my stomach. Because if I do, I'm just going to be ugly and fat. What have they done? Keyed into yours. So now you've got those two sitting side by side, and now it becomes an expression of it's so tight and so tense and so locked in that trauma starts to echo down through the generations. Now, that's one way. The other way is you're in 9/11. What they did with 9/11 was they studied women who were pregnant in 9/11. There's a study for them. There's a study for Holocaust. There's a study for the Great Dutch Hunger Winter. And in all of those, they checked the PTSD markers, and they were elevated, but not just for them, for their children and their children's children and their children's children's children. So now you're passing on emotional DNA through the body because now it's going to start affecting the body. You've got elevated cortisol levels. You've got eating disorders. You've got diabetes. You've got heart conditions, all because of the significant event that was not fully processed, given its place, and allowed to rest so that you could move on and do something differently. So this happens for most of us. Then it comes to someone like you who says, I'm tired of this. I'm asking questions, and you start to ask questions. And then you look at that, and you go, well, I'm not doing that.
Right.
So then you get stuck there for a while, and I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that, but you're not saying what you are doing. Until eventually the brain goes, I am tired of this. What am I doing? What do I want? Where am I going? And so now you've got the pattern that's resting, and you're using it for wisdom, and you've got your pattern that's emerging. I call that the chapter that only you can write.
Wow.
And you're saying, here's what I'm doing. Here's my purpose. This is what we're going to do for the adventure. Here's how I'm going to be of service in the world. And now what you're doing is, that's another epigenetic imprint, because the minute you go, I'm doing it differently, and you feel it head, heart, and gut, now there's a different epigenetic imprint. And if it's a good one, now suddenly what do you hear? Oh, everybody in our family is successful. Everybody in our family is architects and lawyers and psychologists. And why? Because you set it in motion. So now the expectation is different.
Wow.
And that's when I look at any group that will say we've been demographically suppressed or that we're badly treated. Okay, do you want to keep repeating that story?
Come on.
Or do you want to turn that around and say, here's how I represent for everything that happened here?
Yes.
Now do it this way. Here's the catch. If you do it with an angry heart, or you do it to get you, or you do it to suppress someone else, you won't enjoy the ride, you won't love who you become, and all you do is become the next perpetrator. Don't do that. You've got to do it
talk
with
to
love.
us about it. Yes.
Yep. You've got to do it with love. You've got to do it with enjoyment. You've got to do it with inclusion. And that's something that globally we've got to learn. Inclusion. And
it's not just diversity, it's like live it.
It's
Everyone
not diversity and equity, it's simply inclusion.
Yes. Too much focus on diversity and equity. I don't know that equity is just like I don't know where they even came up with the word, because equity would always be measurable, and to whoever's watching, whoever's feeling, whoever's thinking, that's just an emotionally driven word in my opinion. And now I can't even articulate but you get what I'm saying. Like,
I know, because you can see my eyes.
And diversity, me. I'm a whole, just my DNA is so diverse. So come on, I represent diversity. Everybody, your DNA is diverse. You've got two parents that made you to begin with from two different families. It's diverse.
I think I look at the world and I go, can we just be people?
Right.
Please.
But when we think of inclusion, we spoke about this off camera. We talk about the curiosity.
Yes. And I love it. It's my favorite word. And we spoke about that. Curiosity allows me to see what's there without judging it.
And that's inclusion to begin.
Judgment. Yes, it's everything. When we can remove judgment, we can also then begin to see what's possible. And as humanity, we don't do that. Remove the judgment. Look at what's possible. Do what's possible. That's why Disney made me cry. The first time I went to Disney, all I did was cry. Because I looked at that and I thought, oh my goodness.
Look at what's possible.
Yeah. Look what's possible when people come together around an idea that's big enough for everybody to play.
Yeah.
Things are possible.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I love that. I remember just this few days ago, my good friend and sister, Dr. Slava Alnabusi, who she has an episode coming up as well. She was telling me, she's in medicine. She was telling me that as humans, our bodies, we did not evolve as quickly as the world has around us.
No, we did not.
She said our brain with innovation is the thing that catapulted. That's why we have electric cars and all these different things that are just, 5G, whatever. But she's like, our physical body has not even shifted to catch up with the innovation. And so this is when we talk about epigenetics and ancestral blocks and all that, we have to understand that no matter how woo that right now, your epigenetics and your ancestral DNA is playing a part in your life, in your world, and it will ultimately influence your success in relationships. I want us, before we go to commercial break, really quick, to touch on some of those blocks epigenetically and ancestrally that pop up in relationships. I do believe that relationship is the key ingredient to life and success. We talk about your network being your net worth, all that stuff. And I find that when, one of Dr. Kareem Ellis, he talks about the biggest and greatest mastermind that we will have on the planet is that of a husband and a wife, or partners in a romantic relationship, because out of that comes a family, and then we go out and we work and we do all those things. When it comes to epigenetics and ancestral blocks, how do you see that affecting relationships with some of your clients that you coach, even in the corporate space? Does that ever come up?
If we look at relationships, well, in a corporate space, the first thing I teach people is you've got to cultivate stakeholders. If you don't, stakeholders and sponsors, if you don't have those, you're in trouble. So the minute you get into a role, who are the people around you who are touch points? Who are their touch points? Who are their touch points? You've got to keep building that, because that's what's going to either rise you or tank you. It will.
Yeah.
I don't care how shy you are, reach out, make a connection, keep going. Shyness is not an excuse. We use it as a lovely excuse.
Yes.
You can be shy and still do it.
Exactly.
So in the corporate space, it's really, really important. And something that people need to understand deeply is that your career is your other child. If you don't nurture it, if you don't help it, if you don't guide it, if you don't advocate for it, you're not going to go anywhere. And if you think that just by being the good kid, you're going to get what you need, it doesn't work that way. Sorry. Doesn't work that way. So
I tried it.
It doesn't work. When people tell
Can't ruffle any feathers.
I'm doing my work and they'll notice me, I'm like, what planet are you on? It doesn't work that way, people. You've got to find your differentiator. You've got to find the way that to make a difference. You've got to find your purpose, and you've got to go there.
You've got to go there. And straight ahead, take the limitations and blinders off.
Take them off.
As often as you find them. Yes.
Say yes, then figure out how. You're not going to have the answer immediately. Just say yes and figure it out.
Say yes and go anyway.
That's it. Activate your figure it out gene. It's there.
It's there. I love it. That's so with the movement Mindset Mastery 360, I knew I had written it out for years and just flushed it out overall with the overall vision. And a lot of people would not believe it. And I told our members, which is over 400 at this point, and we got 100 and something more waiting to onboard, and we haven't even marketed or campaigned. And this is the movement very much in line with what your work is, because the only way we can really truly make global change is if we get people to understand this stuff.
You're exactly right. It's literally this. They've also got to understand. I did a big constellation. It was really insightful. So we had the quantum field, the Newtonian field, which is the now, and the knowing field, which is systemic work. It's everything, all of your ancestors, everything that ever happened. Yes. So I had representatives for those. I had elevated emotion. I had humanity. I had fear. I had love. And I had the individual. So I put all of those up to see what would happen. So the quantum fields, I said to them, what are we getting? I'm just waiting. The knowing field is like, you know what? Everything that you guys do is going to grow me or shrink me. It's up to you. The Newtonian field's going, I'm here. Nothing moved. Humanity didn't move. Nothing moved until the individual made the move. And the minute the individual reached out to elevated emotions turned around and connected into the quantum field, and everything started to rock and roll. It all begins with the individual. And then it is, how do we click together? And when there are two, we're not two. It's power squaring. Now you actually have the energy of 4. When there are 4, it's not just 4. You have the energy of 16, which is exactly why if you get into relationships, if you've got a strong 2 relationship, they have the energy of 4. If you have a family that is very tight, they have that number squared. And if they stand together and they go for things, they've got more energy than the individual.
And that would be the quantum leaping?
That's quantum leaping. And the other quantum leaping is the possibility. You've got to live in possibility, and you've got to live possibility. If you have both of those going, you're going to be moving to your friend's point. The brain and the body starts catching up to what's happening out there. But it begins with you. You've got to say yes. You've got to say yes. You've got to say yes.
And it's a full mental, physical, emotional.
It's a total yes. It's a full-bodied yes.
Full body, whole being yes, not just yes, but.
That's it.
Talked about saying right here, I'm going to do it. I'm going to change, but don't change this.
No.
Still want to wear my dirty underwear and have my toilet thoughts.
No, it's when everything says yes. Your thoughts say yes. Your feelings say yes. Your actions say yes. Your everything goes yes.
Yes.
And I had that when I started doing the Disney stuff. I went and I thought, okay, I love Disney. I was there, and I had timeshare, and I went and asked them, what's it cost if I want to put on a Disney event? And the lady said, let me walk you through it. They were all excited, and then told me this amount I had to put down as a deposit. And I went,
we don't quite have that right here right now.
No. I'll tell you what, I found it, and then I thought, oh my goodness, but if I don't make the required number, I lose my deposit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yes.
Well, I'm now going to my 10th Disney thing, and we're good.
We're solid good. We're solid good. But you have to make that move. And that was what I did with the move. I'm like, okay, let's build this structure. It's a small one. I know it's probably, I don't know if it's not the right one, it's not the wrong, but we've got a structure. Let's call the people. And they came. They came. They came. And so that's it. You say yes and you move. And you
all the time. You
move, like you said.
If you're not moving, you're not grooving. It's that simple.
You're not moving, you're not grooving. And nothing is happening because you're waiting on you to move.
Yeah,
everything is waiting on you.
If you're whining, you're not shining either.
If you're listen to me, this gorgeous blonde who has the brain. She said, if you're whining, you're not shining. You can't do both. You can't whine and shine at the same time. You can whine, but you won't be shining while you're doing that. And you can't move. You can't groove if you don't move. So it can't happen. It just won't. I love it. Judy, one last question. We've got to tap in a little bit more on what are some of those limitations that we use on ourselves when it comes to our romantic relationships.
Oh yeah. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not big enough. I'm not blonde enough. I'm not exotic enough. You name it, we put it in. Or, well, here are big ones. My mother never had a good relationship, so I can't either. My grandmother and mother didn't have a good relationship, so of course I can't either. In our lineage, the women are all very strong. We don't need men.
Come on.
So you want a romantic relationship. You're telling me you don't need one.
But you stay here.
Yes. We kick ourselves in the ankle. So the way to do that is to sit down and write down everything that you think, feel, and do around relationships.
Yes.
That's going to show you where you're kicking yourself in the shins.
Yes.
To write down how you would like it to look. And then cut that piece of paper in two, crumple the one and tell it, thank you, you got me this far, but you won't get me there.
Come on, thank you. But no thank you back.
That's it. And then look at your mom, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, whoever it is, and tell them, I love you all. It's time for something different. And that's me. We're doing it differently.
Yes. Yeah.
I
love that. That is it. Basic. That's elementary stuff. You can do that today. You got that for free from this world-renowned coach telling you, she gives you a tip that you can apply now and you will see transformation with just that.
Absolutely. You've got to do it if you want to be it. You've got to do it if you want to be it.
You've got to do it. You can't just listen and be like, oh my God, this is so transformational. This episode will mean nothing to you and it will mean nothing to the time that she's giving to us today if you don't do it. It would just be another
oh goody, that was
dry water bath.
No, do it. And in fact, get your kids to do it with you too.
Please.
What are they like?
Please
are they shy? Are they scared? What you got to tell your kids is, or ask them, how do you push the envelope today?
Woo!
In fact, how did you push your envelope today? What was the one you did that was just a degree out of your comfort zone? Good job.
Good job. And that, if you can imagine a world, and this is why Mindset Mastery 360 exists, and we have all the divisions for men, for senior women, for senior men, and the divisions, because everyone who works with people, who coach, who teach, who speaks, will choose their spot where we want to focus and hone in on the same work, but just focus it around what their limitations they're creating at this point in their life and help them move forward. Listen, guys, we'll be back from a quick commercial break when we play Flip the Script with Judy Wilkins-Smith. I love it. Oh, I can't get enough. I can't get enough of her. We'll be right back. Oh my gosh, this is so Woo, Disruptors. What a tremendous time we're having in this two-part episode with Judy Wilkins-Smith. We're talking constellations. We're talking epigenetic systemic work with the constellation. It's just been transformation. I know you hear all these words and you're like, oh, they're scientific. But I know as you listen to this episode, you're like, that's more practical than anything has been practical in my life before. I really have some toilet stuff I got to clean out. Yes, we're talking. So Judy, we do flip the script, and we love to ask our guests to share moments when they had to flip their own script. I know you've done this work. You have been this work. You embody this work. When was a time in your journey that you had to flip the script in something very major in your life, and how did that go for you?
I think with my mom was the big one with that whole cancer journey was, I can't do this. I can't do this. This is too much. Really? So who's going to do what here? Do you want to, I can't, or are you going to start figuring out how you do? Now, bear in mind that we got the diagnosis on her birthday. And the day after that, Sounds True, who are the publishers for my book, said, we're going to pay you to write the book. And I was like, Now? How? And everybody kept saying, you have to take 6 months off to write the book. And I was like, I have a full client book. I have this going on, which was going back and forwards, 2-hour drives either way for treatments and things. So I had that. Yeah. I had it, you name it, it was going on. And I'm writing the book. So what I did was, okay, I can do this. And that's your first thing. I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. In fact, I'll tell you about manuals as well. But I went, I can do this. I've just got to figure out how. Yes. Compartmentalizing. I'm writing the book now and doing that. Okay, now we're doing treatments and doing that. And now I'm working with clients and doing that. So I learned to kind of sit with them. Yes,
that's how my life works. Yeah.
I think my other big one was writing, because if you come to Disney, or when you come to Disney,
come to Disney,
what you'll see is you don't just come to do, you have a full-blown manual. So when you walk out, you can go, what was that thing she said? And it's there. It's all there. Yes. And I create those. I'm now well known for them. But the first time I did one, I had a full-on adult tantrum. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this stuff. I don't even know what I'm saying. And it was all the multi-generational trash talking. And I mean, it was throw the cats out the one door and everybody else out the other door and just scream. And I kept doing that. Every time I had to do a manual, it was going through this big experience of I can't do this, I don't know what I'm doing. And I think I got to manual number 7 or 8. And I looked at this and I was like, now I've got to do this. And this voice said to me, and it was my own voice, oh, so we're going to do that again.
Oh.
And I went, what? Well, everybody's told you your manuals are unbelievable. But no, we're going to go down this
toilet. We're going to go down this rabbit hole. Yeah. Toilet talk.
So what's the alternative? How about you sit down and just do the manual? Oh, just do it. Fine. I think I'll just go do the manual.
Isn't it funny, the voices in your head, and we all have them, but they guide you.
Well, you get the ancestral voices, which can either guide you or cripple you, but you've got your observer self that's going, okay, let's talk about this a moment, you and I, which is actually both of us. We're going to do this stuff, or do we want to just do fine? Let's go do the manual. I'm
Let's
good.
go do the manual. I'll figure it out. Sure. Since you're
I'll
over here
figure
making
it
fun
out.
of me.
We're good.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. That is a great example of what all of us do. And I usually be like, okay, you look really good with the snot, makeup
Yep.
everywhere. You
How's
made a
that
really good
working?
mess.
Yeah,
You made a good mess. Now clean it up and get to stepping. It's
that's
stuff to
it.
do. Nobody has time for this.
And
You know?
that's your champion self. When you can turn on your
Oh,
champion self, you flip the script because you
yes.
really begin to understand that the only victim is the one you're creating. And
Ooh.
then it
Ouch.
gets, yeah, that's it. Because after that, you can't say so-and-so did it to me. It's like,
Hmm.
really? Let's see how that one goes again. Let's talk a little bit here.
I had a
Well,
friend say to me, I can't blame. I'm in a situation. I'm freaking out. I asked for this amount of money, and here it is, and I feel worse. It's like
yes,
when I was
yes.
broke, I was more at peace. Now I have the responsibility of all this money, and if
Oh,
I mess
oh,
this up, I can't blame him. I can't blame her because they're not even around anymore. And I'm like,
exactly.
oh, I like
So,
this.
yes, so be careful what you wish for because you'll get it. And then when we get it, I love the money piece because I cannot tell you how many people go, well, I wanted the money, but now, exactly as you said, I've got the responsibility. I'm giving it away. I'm like, what are you doing, fool? You've got Aladdin's lamp. What do
Yes.
you want to do with this? Be mindful. You're now able to make more magics. Quit whining and start shining.
Shining. Yes. Come on now. Quit
What do you
whining
want to
and
do
start
with the
shining.
magic? The magic is in your hands. Do something. Don't sit and look at it.
Yes. And this is why I believe that you have a plan for what you ask for.
Oh, I love that you said that. Your inner you actually knows what
Yes.
it wants and needs. It's also your higher self. Your
Yes.
higher self is going, hey, can you wake up and clear the lanes here? I'm trying to talk to you.
Right. Turn off all the noise.
So when you have a deep longing, don't squash the poor thing. It's trying to guide you.
Right. Exactly. And know that whatever comes when when it looks ugly, looks like a defeat, it looks like a denial, sometimes even a betrayal, because you're on track with purpose, your decision, as you say, is do I let this and the ancestral voices stop me, hinder me, slow me down, whatever that looks like for you, and waste time? Because all you're going to do is be right
That's
here.
very important.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to be right here, and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
still going to have to go down that road anyway. Why not do it now?
Oh, I want to say one quick word about betrayal
Mm-hmm.
because we've all been there. We've all
Yes.
been there.
I want to hear
Betrayal
this.
is a very lovely creature. And I'll tell you why. Betrayal is often the one who steps in and goes, okay, this is not working. Let's just put a pin in it.
Yeah.
And we go, oh, I've been betrayed. I've been hurt. But when we look back, we go, that was the best thing that ever happened. Do we ever turn around and say to betrayal, thank you very much?
Story of my life. This is why you have the woman you have today. And
Exactly.
I
So
try
turn
to tell
around
everyone
and
who's
accept it.
been betrayed in a relationship, at a job, feel it, sort through your feelings. Don't waste too much time over there, honey. You're going to regret. The only thing you're going to regret is that you spend so much time regretting everything you did with that person, everything you did with that job. Because what you forgot is that served you.
The universe was literally having your back. It said, we're putting a pin in this. Stop.
Enough. That's it. We're cutting it. It served you. All you do is be grateful for the lack of time, because this person was betraying you in many ways the whole time,
They were
possibly.
serving you. No, but they were serving you.
They were serving you.
You don't belong here. You
Right.
do not belong here.
Go ye therefore into the world and be thy great self. Shine.
Exactly.
And now you got the opportunity and you're whining. The whole 2-3 years later, you're still whining about this man who broke your heart.
Yeah, and the other person's gone. But here's what we do. the universe elegantly closes the door and we keep trying to open the
You
door.
stand there. Let me in. I need to come back in. I can't breathe out here.
Breathe. The
You were
universe
breathing.
just said
Stop
no.
and breathe. Breathe. You see that?
Yeah.
It's called fresh air. That is not the air that you need to get here, where you've been asking to go, friend. Let it go.
Oh, my favorite. I'm going to fight for them. Why? They
Why?
told you no. Really? Why? Do you want to get no a second time? 20 years later?
And then your body, what we don't realize, that level of disease starts to literally breed disease in our bodies.
Yes, because what it does is it triggers the hormones of stress, and the
Ooh.
hormones of stress start eroding the body and they cause disease. So well done. Now you've made yourself sick.
So now you're mentally disturbed, emotionally disturbed, and physically broken down.
Yeah. And in this work, we flip that script.
Yes.
You get to take yourself all the way up.
That's right. And so this is why sometimes years of therapy does not necessarily work, because you're just going over, depend on the modality that's being used. We're not criticizing therapy.
No.
You need therapy. But I say therapy alone does not work. This is why you need coaching, and you need this type of coaching, because you're going to do the work and build, you said it, you're going to rewire and repattern your DNA, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually through this type of work. So important. What is success for you, Judy?
What is success? Success for me is when I have the first 5 million people in the world going, we're awake. But I will tell you, success for me is every single time I watch a light switch on.
So you had a good time with me, because I had light switches.
I had such fun.
I keep doing it. I'm like, wait, there's more switches? Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah.
Turned on switches all day here. I am lit up.
Watching people turn the switch on.
Oh my goodness. That's it. I wake up for that every day. What's your next big thing outside of Disney?
Well, yeah, Disney is my big thing. Oh, but I will say I am super lucky. I have been invited to go and teach in Peru. So I will be going, I'm going to Lima at the end of August.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Yes.
Houston, I know, is July, end of July, then it's Lima. Oh, and then, I get to do the Disney thing. And I guess those are the 3 big ones at the moment. And start thinking about what is book 3. I really never thought, I told everybody after book 1 I was done.
Oh, there's definitely a book 3 in there.
Or not.
I know there's a book 3 in you. What kind of mindset do you think is required to achieve that particular goal of book 3?
It's, you know what, I've known 3 and 4 are actually sitting there. And for me, it's a question of which of the 2 comes first. I suspect it's probably going to be something on money DNA.
Oh, yes. Come on.
And what is the mindset behind that? For me, it's really about showing people that money is a relationship, not a commodity, and about teaching them the very loving and mentoring side of money, which we miss.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, if she has the time to spare us in the next couple of months or so, we have to do another episode on money DNA. As a matter of fact, I'm like, she'll make time for us, but we couldn't go into all her subjects as she applies these very principles, but they're still very specific conversation and training and coaching that goes with it. But she has another whole spot on the money DNA that she did some work with me in our first conversation that was just mind-blowing. Oh my goodness, Judy, Flip the Script has been even more in depth, and I'm obsessed with this episode. I don't play favorites. I listen to every episode when it's done and it's produced, but I know this one is the one where I'm getting one of the ones I'm getting my pen and my notepad, because this is so much. She's literally giving us free coaching today. Judy, we are at we are at almost the end where we do Mindsets Bite to Go before we tell everyone about the event in Disney and how to reach with you, where you get 90 to 60, 120 seconds to share key lessons and takeaway that you just want to impart on our audience. And I'll get away from this screen and this microphone and give it just to you. So I'm going to step away. Mindset Bites to Go. Give it to us, Judy Wilkins-Smith style. Just, we thank you, everybody. Here you go.
Transformation is not for the chosen few. It's for those who choose it. That's number one. You're a remarkable life if only you know how to see it. Everybody can do this. What you're doing is you're already doing the downside of it. It's time for the upside. There is also incredible power in your genes. Look out for Genealogy 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. And it's time for you to change the world.
Thank you. That was so powerful. So here's my favorite part for everyone to learn how to connect with you and then give us a little briefing about the Disney event in November. You'll get to see me there and some of our leaders in MM360. I'm planning to poke them along with me. So come on, guys. Let's hear it. Yes.
Okay. So where do they get a hold of me? You can find me on Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you name it, I'm there. You can also find me at judywilkins-smith.com. And there you will see my books. You'll find my Meditation of the Mother and Meditation of the Father with, by the way, may I say, the composer who composes for Joe Dispenza is my composer, and he's an awesome human. And you will also find a ton of information and a place to register for the Disney event, which is, I say, it's taking 4 days out of your work life to invest into your life so that you can amp up everything. It's November 1 through 4. It's at the Yacht Club with accommodation at the Beach Club, which means you sit right in the middle between Epcot and Hollywood Studios. So when you've finished in the afternoon, you can go to the International Food and Wine Festival, or you can go to Hollywood Studios, or of course, if you want to, Magic Kingdom. But you will find that information on my website. And I can't wait to see you all because it's time to change things up.
Yes. And you can't sit and say, I feel stuck. I feel afraid. I don't know why this is not happening. I don't know why that's not happening. And you're sitting there whining, hoping that you'll just shine. You can whine or you can shine. Let's get polished and let's get cleaned up and polish and come back shining on November 5th into our work, life, business, career, and relationships. I am a big, as a matter of fact, Judy has agreed to be my mentor in this season, and she and I are going to work that out. I know you all who listen all the time can see that I am definitely surrendered to her coaching and training. So you tap in as you need it. Go to her website, all her information, and we'll put a special link to the Disney event as well, for you can go directly to learn more about that event. But her website and her social media handles, everything is wherever you're watching and seeing this. We are so grateful for you and your light, Judy. This has been such an amazing 2 episodes. So if you heard part 1 or you just stumbled on part 2, you got to go back to part 1 because it's sequenced. We're going to break this up into 2 one-hour episodes for you. And Judy, thank you from our heart. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And she's not done. She'll be back with Money DNA on another episode. And thank you everyone for listening. Remember that your mindset is the key to your success. You cannot do anything without knowing and understanding yourself and getting your thoughts in alignment with who you are and what you were put on this earth to do, and just doing the darn thing. Until next time, keep mastering your mindset. We'll see you later. Bye from me and Judy. Bye, guys.
Yeah.